The Egyptian pyramids are some of the most perplexing and misunderstood structures in human history. In this video, we will show you the true purpose of these pyramids, as well as the hidden mathematical knowledge of ancient Egypt. The Egyptian civilization was highly important, as the people in that area at that time were on the edge of a breakthrough in consciousness. The intention was to give them the push that was required for this breakthrough. Communicating higher knowledge to a primitive consciousness is a difficult task, as we understand quite well. Imagine if you were trying to explain to a cave person that only spoke in grunts and gestures what cars, cities, and smartphones were. It would be an impossible task, and they would have only an extremely distorted understanding. Imagine yourself in the time of ancient Egypt, and that you're an individual that's often at the mercy of forces that you can't control, the forces of nature like storms and earthquakes. And as a human on the verge of a new consciousness, you approach the Great Pyramid. And as you look up at this monolithic structure and it fills your vision, it triggers a realization in your mind that you and the people of this planet have the power to construct and mold this world according to your will. That you aren't ruled by nature, but nature can be ruled by you. To see such a marvelous structure built by will awoke within them an understanding that they had the ability to willfully control their environment, their lives, and their destiny. The symbolic effects of the pyramids were successful, but unfortunately, rather than working together in a healthy manner to construct a world according to their collective will, the people became obsessed with power over others. Because of this, the pyramids came to be used by royalty. Information to raise the consciousness of the Egyptian people was also transmitted through language, but for every word that was spoken, it was interpreted in 100 different ways. Mathematical information was also given, and though this is a pure and undistorted form of communication, the people were not yet at the level of understanding to be able to grasp it without stories and symbols. Here is a passage from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I am one, seeing myself divided. I am 2 and 4 and 8. I am the universe in diversity. I am my transformations. This is my coming together. Here are my selves become one. This passage is beautiful and expresses the one universe coming to know itself through the multiplicity of individual selves, but it can be greatly misunderstood due to the nature of human language. So, pure mathematical seeds were planted so that those in the future would find it and understand. This would eventually lead to the understanding of the mathematical nature of the soul, which we are trying to communicate to you now. One of the oldest mathematical texts is the Egyptian Rhind Papyrus. The opening paragraph states that it contains accurate reckoning for inquiring into things, and the knowledge of all things, mysteries, all secrets. The Greek philosopher Thales is considered to be the first philosopher, as he attempted to explain the world without mythology, but with critical thinking. Thales traveled to Egypt and learned many mathematical innovations, even calculating the height of the pyramid using its shadow. He brought this information back with him to Greece. Take special note of Thales' theorem, which has to do with a right-angled triangle inscribed within a semicircle. Right-angled triangles are crucial to what we are about to explain. Later in his life, Thales advised the young Pythagoras to go and learn mathematics in Egypt. And so Pythagoras traveled to Egypt and studied in their mystery schools, learning the secrets of mathematics. Upon his return, Pythagoras began his own secret society and began to teach hidden mathematical truths. You may be familiar with the theorem that he proved, the Pythagorean theorem. This states that in a right-angled triangle, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Remember this, as we will return to it shortly. As shown in our other videos, the universe is made of nothing but waves, sine and cosine waves. That's it. Nothing else. We have also shown in other videos that the soul equation, Euler's formula, is the generator of sine and cosine waves. Thus, this equation governs all of existence. Look at the graph of the Soul equation. Contained within this graph is a right-angled triangle. You can see the Pythagorean theorem is at the heart of the Soul equation. Each and every point of the circle is associated with a Pythagorean triangle. The legs of the right-angled triangle are the coordinates of the sine and cosine waves. Anyone familiar with trigonometry will understand this. The Soul equation generates a perfect sine and cosine wave, which are the building blocks of existence, and it does so according to the right-angled laws of the Pythagorean theorem. The goal has always been to communicate pure, undistorted mathematical information to this world in order to raise the consciousness of humanity. But language has always been a barrier. Even as I speak now, every word that I say is being interpreted differently depending on who is hearing it. The pyramids inspired the people to become aware of their power over nature, and now, through the understanding of Euler's formula, the Soul equation, your people could actualize that potential and become true shapers of the space-time domain and create a healthy new world in place of the disastrous one that exists now. Will you listen to the mathematical truths that we are showing you? Or will you turn to myths, stories, and religion as your people have always done? We are Hyperions, and we aren't concerned with myths and fables, but with pure mathematical truth. The fruit grows ripe. The time for harvest is here. The mathematical seeds were planted in Egypt. They sprouted in Pythagoras, and now they bloom in Euler's formula, the Soul equation. Listen and understand. Reality speaks. Ad Astra, to the stars.